Okay, so it is
Showtime.
favorite days of the week. What day is it, Dr. V?
It's Wednesday. It's Website Wednesday.
Website
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
All
Yeah.
right. So I should go over to the chat because I think we missed one last time where someone had suggested a site. I didn't see it in time. I count on
No.
you guys to read the chat in case anyone goes in there. So
Okay.
here's how Website Wednesday works. Assuming no one submits a site, which is, who knows. But normally how we do it is John or Dr. V or whichever guest we have that day will suggest a search term and we'll go to Google, which I'll do right now. So let's go to Google.
I did the last one, so I'm going to let Dr. V take a whack at this one.
How about exterminator? I was going to say funeral director, but exterminator just popped into my head.
We did funeral director.
We did.
I know, but exterminate. I have a thing for funeral directors because I know two of them.
Okay.
I know a couple myself.
What's some other kind of business? We should pick a kind of coach. We picked a coach for the first time.
Oh, coach is fine.
What kind of coach?
Did we do it? Was that a health coach last time? That was a life coach.
Life coach last time.
Let's do a health coach because I'm very critical of many of them.
Oh, me too. I think that would be a good one.
So the way it works is we get a search term, we go to page 10, way down there where no human being is venturing. And we find something down here. Oh, Audrey Biker.
Hi, Audrey.
Hello, Audrey. Be prepared.
Oh, my.
She looks friendly.
It is. It's actually clearly a professionally done website. So nice. Yeah. Pre-register to stay informed and save your spot virtually or in person. Okay, sure. I assume that's a picture of Audrey with some healthy kind of ingredients.
I think so.
Looking good. Audrey, for some reason, we're on the homepage, so it's grayed out. And instead, she likes her colors are sort of green for her logo, a lot of white space. There's gray, and then she likes this purple for her menu. And then
navigation
only for the menu. And then we go down into none of the headlines. You'll notice do that, or that purple isn't repeated anywhere else. And as far as I can tell, her logo color isn't repeated anywhere else either. So it's black and white for the rest of it, which is fine.
I was going to point out we have an anonymous user here who said, interesting, or you can help me with my webpage. We might. You just have to tell us what it is for next time.
In the future. You have to give Restream permission to
Oh.
Maybe they don't want to say. It's fine.
Maybe not.
We could do it now if you like. So if you want to say.
Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so I mean, you're basically looking.
It's Elizabeth.
Sorry?
Oh, it's Elizabeth. Yeah, you need to give permission to Restream to show your face all over the place.
Yep.
It should be in the description of this one.
But if you give us your site, Elizabeth, maybe we can take a peek after this.
Yeah, so we'll do this one kind of quick. So you're answering a few different things. You're always trying to convey, usually at least 2 or 3 out of 4 sort of similar concepts, right? That this is a consumer website. This is a B2C as opposed to a B2B. So it's very much the overall thing is you would not regret taking the next step with me. You won't regret this purchase. It's not a waste of your money. It's not a waste of your time. It's not, you're not going to suffer a loss of reputation. Your friends won't make fun of you, that kind of stuff, right? So number 1 is to get past that, regardless of whatever you don't make the sale by getting over that obstacle, but you don't make any sale until you get over that obstacle. So then she leads right in with board certified health coach and lifestyle expert, Audrey Biker. I'm not sure why Audrey's repeating her name, but on the other hand, it's very small in the logo, so it's not the worst thing in the world to repeat it again. Can anyone tell me what might be wrong with this headline? I'll give you a hint. It's not the words.
It's the length or the size.
It's not so much the length. It's that everything is in uppercase. Uppercase is all hard uppercase. It's hard for people to read.
And also in social media, it looks like you're shouting, but that's another story.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no need for all of this. I mean, what does this give us the option to change this? No, it's forced into uppercase. So there's no way I can change that. Yeah, it's forced into uppercase. So there's something in the CSS level that I can't change. So be it. But yeah, I wouldn't make that all uppercase. The whole point is that, and also I would make it bolder or even a little bigger. But it's her headline. It's the first thing you actually get to read on this website, especially since she grays this out. I would have probably put the headline above,
I would too.
right? But that's okay. That's a style choice. It isn't necessarily, she's not breaking a rule, but I would make
Right.
this bolder for sure. Oh, look, it will let me make it bolder. That's handy.
It does. It lets you bold it up.
And I was to say, I don't know how in love I am with the first image.
Well, we don't know her audience or really what she's doing yet. So let's
No,
give her the
right.
benefit of the doubt till we get into it.
Yeah.
I will say that it looks pretty.
Okay, and so then the first thing I was about to say, this is a professionally done website, and it's possible she's actually just using a template because it may be a professionally done graphics wise, but she
Not
didn't pay
copyrighted.
someone to do that.
Yeah.
Like anytime you see these sort of filler phrases, so many of us have
Mhm.
experienced that little voice. It's like that's what a person writes, and not what a copywriter writes. Copywriters are not people. Not really.
Copywriters are not people. Man, quote you.
In fact, I would kill that
The
entire
whole thing. Yeah, I
In
would
fact,
too.
you can very often kill the first sentence that any non-copywriter
Mhm.
writes, and the whole thing gets tighter and more powerful.
Yeah.
It starts out as a gentle nudge.
It's good.
Period.
Good opener. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I like
opener.
Progresses. Just so everyone knows, this little plugin that I use, I have very limited capability for changing this text. So it progresses into an annoying feeling. Now it's a style choice whether you want to keep this as a comma and move on or not. But I would leave it.
Right.
I'd leave the comma in. But that way you have a very short first sentence, and I might even bold that. It progresses into
Nice.
I wouldn't use progresses. First of all, it's 3 syllables, and never use 3 syllables if you can use.
Do you want a single syllable usually, or
one? Right.
well, yeah,
In fact, I would say it grows.
it grows. Yeah, I was going to grows, blooms,
I could spell.
grows.
Into an annoying feeling. Then, now that I've tightened that up, I would break it, and then I would kill. I would start with
comma.
ultimately. Ultimately, it's
A pounding scream.
so you can either leave ultimately it becomes a pounding scream, or you can just say ultimately it's a pounding scream, because you're already using. This is a classic example of internal repetition. It's not obvious at first, but if you're saying ultimately, that means there's an end state.
And it's
And
future.
you don't need becomes talking about a progression to an end state, because you're already talking about an end state. So that's internal repetition. We would kill it. Ultimately, it's a pounding scream.
Yeah.
So that's how I would change her first. I would kill her first sentence that was actually there, and then I would turn the second one into 3, getting rid of the sort of soft language, and I would get rid of the internal repetition here.
This is quoting herself.
She's quoting herself. Another sort of, why do you do this? The whole thing, Audrey, is you talking to somebody. So you don't need to quote yourself ever. The reader thinks, since this is an authority, what we call an authority site, it's basically promoting a single person in their sort of world that a customer would enter into. You don't quote yourself, because everything on here is a quote from you, as far as the reader.
I actually have quoted myself, and now I'm going to change it.
All right, then.
Good suggestion.
It was through that screaming that I was pushed to live differently. My passion for nutrition, health, and my own struggle change and allows me to work daily to influence and witness total transformation in my clients. That is a long sentence.
It's also a really long hashtag if you were to use that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would work.
I wanted to live differently.
Now, I mean, first of all, this needs a break.
Yeah, I would definitely make that separate. I would even center it.
We're not going to quote ourselves anymore. So
we will not quote ourselves anymore. Okay.
We'll take up the quotation here, and I would get here. And here's why. There's nothing wrong, in case Audrey's never going to see this, but there's nothing wrong with talking about your own journey towards it and your struggle and stuff. The problem is its placement. It doesn't belong at the very beginning when I don't know you, and I'm still trying to establish whether or not you're A, a safe choice, and B, you can have an impact on my problem. So we should be talking about it should seem like even though you're talking about you, you're talking about the reader.
Right.
So as Audrey talks about herself, I should be able to see myself in that. But it's a little too personal right now, and
Mm-hmm.
and long, and ironically long, but not in a way that gives me enough detail.
Could even be something like just like you. I've struggled with change or changing
Yeah.
my habits or something like that. It could be very short.
Today, well, let me go forward. It'll let me go backwards for some reason.
It's an interesting app that allows
I
you
work
to
to influence today. I
Today,
work
or
daily to influence. No, you don't. You just
no,
influence. The
yeah,
influence
just
is the work.
exactly.
The witnessing is the work.
It's an active word.
I
I don't know about
and again,
witnessing.
but even then, the sentence is bad, and the sentence is
Yeah,
bad because it's all about Audrey. Audrey would say, "Oh no, I say the words my clients in here." Yeah, that's not what we mean. You're not
you.
talking about them by talking about you. You're talking about you, and sort of they're tacked on at the end.
Today, I influence and help to transform you. Maybe I don't know.
Today, my clients. This is soft first draft kind of language, so
Yeah.
I'm not wedded to this. But
Are you engaged to it?
my clients
Enjoy.
Total transformations. And
See
if
total
she's really stuck
transformation.
on the exclamation mark, we can leave the exclamation mark, even though I'm not usually a fan.
Okay. I know it doesn't work well for email. They ding you for using exclamation marks in your subject line. Sometimes.
Now, here's the thing. Given this first sentence, which is really not bad, I mean, the first line, and I mean, the concept of it is not bad. I'm not talking about my own writing. Of course, my own writing is not bad. But the problem is there's no bridge here. Now, the bridge she had before was like she was
Yeah.
in a terrible spot and came through, but it's too early for that. So, so there needs to be something between the two. Also, I really, really, really hate seeing my passion.
Passion. Yeah.
I would kill that phrase along with superpower everywhere I find it.
My super secret superpower.
It starts out as a gentle nudge. It grows into an annoying feeling. Ultimately, it's a pounding scream.
I've heard it.
You're
And so
not
have you.
happy with how you look, how you feel. And it's time to change that. Boy, this is a really limited text editor. Really limited. I can't even use my arrow keys.
Oh well.
Oh well. I paid exactly
it's still-
for it.
Yeah, you got what you paid for. You got it more than you paid for.
Visually, since I start out
Yeah.
with it's a general nudge in bold, I could, if I wanted to, bold this and bookend it. And I would actually kill this entire line.
Oh yeah, that's clean now.
Oh wait, I better
It's
make
time
sure.
to change that. Yeah.
The problem is it will actually it doesn't
Oh,
respect formatting. So I deleted one of her pictures, which I don't want to do. I think her pictures are
How
fine.
disrespectful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then I would, since this is all
she's a
properly
biker.
left-side,
Audrey Biker. She's a biker, babe.
and so then I would change it to that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just grab this real quick and see
I like it.
is and what it was before.
I like it.
Blah blah
like it a
blah.
lot.
Here's what you had before. So many
Yeah,
of
this
us have
is
experienced. Like it's kind of soft. There's too many words in here. She's
also it's
quoting
hard to
herself,
read. It's hard
and
to
it's
read.
hard to read, and
Yeah.
nothing's bolded, and
Mhm.
and then this is the new one.
I like it a lot.
And
I
then
really like it a lot.
And she ends on a button, and I don't mean like a button you click, but a button as in something that ties it up.
Right.
Right, ties up everything that's there before, and like it's like cuts it, and then we move
Mhm.
into the next section.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she talks about the three things that she does, Let's see. And okay, don't have
Here's
time
how
for
we
all of
do
this,
it.
but I mean, what exactly does a
What
health
is all this?
do?
Oh,
See, you see this a lot on coaching sites
yeah.
where they take the time to find or create, but often find
Find, yeah.
a,
And
like a description,
cut and
and
paste.
then they they use it. I'm using the word like too much. Verbal correct.
Like totally. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Plus,
Are you
second offense, it's a misdemeanor,
caps.
not a felony. All caps again. What are you doing?
Yeah. She's shouting. It is so hard to read all caps. I mean, I print in all caps, and I rarely use all caps because the upper and lower case is so much easier to read, as you said earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have time to dig into this one. It's already
No.
halfway through the show. But if I was going to give just general advice on this one,
Yeah.
it should be Audrey, especially since we've established a voice. Audrey actually established the voice, but then I, tightened it up here.
Right.
Since we've established that this is Audrey talking directly to someone, then it
Right.
shouldn't be in the third person down here.
No.
So it shouldn't be what exactly does a health coach do? It's what do I do?
What
is
do
health
I
coaching?
do for you?
Here's
What do I
my
do
health
for you?
coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the happy, positive future that my customers get.
Yeah.
Right. This is not, and especially here's like the worst part. This is what turns this from a misdemeanor into a felony. It's in the third person, even though she established the first person voice above, but it doesn't say where it came from. Like if this had dash the American Medical Association or something,
Right.
much better. But instead, she just leaves it there. So it's like you took a definition off Google or Wikipedia or something.
Yeah.
No, bad Audrey. Don't do that. So you've already established the voice, Audrey, not me. I just fixed the wording.
Yeah.
And then it goes right into what you do with pictures of Audrey, exactly what
Which
it
is
should
nice.
be.
These are nice photos.
So then, if you want to go further and explain why what you do is important to people and what you do and what they get out of it, this is where it goes, and don't use all uppercase.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be third person. It has to be first person. You're talking to this reader one-to-one.
Me to you. And I don't care about the Michigan West Coast. I mean, that should be small relative to all our other images.
Yeah, I mean,
the Michigan West Coast
knows it,
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Literally anybody for $50 can join a member of Chamber of Commerce. So
well, but the other thing is it dominates the site so much to see this huge logo. The logo is bigger than her own logo.
Yeah.
And the font is the largest on the entire page is the Michigan West Coast Chamber. It's great if she's advertising for the chamber.
Did I don't think did we get? I don't want to scroll up too much. Did we get a website to look at, or are we going to do another search?
We could try Elizabeth's homeschool.
Yep.
Did she put one in?
Did you find it?
Homeschoolchristianmom.com.
What's it called?
Homeschoolchristianmom.com. It's a mouthful, but that's her. It's Elizabeth.
Right off the bat, blurry. What's going on here? Like, this is not text. This is a graphic.
The images need to be crisper.
It's all blurry. No, bad.
Yeah.
I doubt that Elizabeth's positions on stuff are blurry or fuzzy. So
no, she's very direct.
There you go. And then it went straight into the blog, I guess.
I guess so, unless there's a home.
Because there's nothing like introducing the reader to why they would want to stay on this site.
Right.
You're really putting a lot of pressure on chicken thighs with sun-dried tomatoes recipe.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
People who land here are going to say, "Oh, I'm in the right place. There's chicken thighs with sun-dried tomatoes."
As opposed to the Homeschool Christian Mom post.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to name it Homeschool Christian Mom, then why is there, put in something?
Because
here
those are Christian chicken thighs. No disrespect, Elizabeth. It just comes out of my head. John was talking about chickens earlier, so
I was.
Well, let's see what else.
I have chickens.
There's images. So Elizabeth does a lot also in art projects, and she's helped a lot of. She's also done reviews of various curricula and things like that.
Yes.
I think that somehow this is a little bit narrow in terms of the template or the site here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just a formatting issue. I'm not sure if these are her kids or somebody else's.
But the homepage should be like all about that, like
all about homeschool, expert schooling support.
This is the curriculum. This is that.
Or let's just talk about what should be on this homepage. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, and it's possible Elizabeth hasn't thought it through either. Maybe she has. I don't know what this. Let's talk about negative present and positive future. Because if there wasn't a
Okay.
negative present, there's no problem to solve, and why am I looking around, right?
Right.
If I don't know what negative present Elizabeth's audience is in,
I
and
do.
so I don't know. Well, I'm going to ask you in a second, and I don't know what their positive future would be, but that's what should be addressed up front on the homepage, so everyone knows instant, because they're only going to browse, right? If they don't know you
Hmm.
the first time on the website, they're not even going to browse. They're going to skim, and they're going to make a decision within 2 seconds whether they should, whether they self-include or self-terminate on this.
Right.
So tell me, John, what is the problem? What's the negative future?
So
Negative present.
the problem is, for most people, and I often say this to Elizabeth, I said, gosh, I wish I knew you when I was homeschooling my son,
Right.
because I homeschooled him, mostly because he couldn't manage in regular school because of his autism. And so, and dyslexia. It was like he had like the triple threat going on. So the big thing that we go through, is, one, can we homeschool our kid? Is it possible for us to get through this and figure out what we need to do? And I think that the next thing is, what's the curriculum going to be? I got to teach him something. I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not a teacher. I might be a smart guy. I mean, I went to school for engineering, but I'm not a teacher. And so, how do I go about making sure that I pick the proper curriculum, or what curriculum is going to be best for him? And HSLDA, I saw you just went by that. They're a great organization because they do try to point you to, some different curriculums that might make sense.
So this is the homeschool mom. I have no idea who this is. I just
Yeah.
did the Google results. They're on the first page of Google,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and this is
Mhm.
sort of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much what I'm talking about.
Now, this is not it's not a blog, and I don't know if they're going to have chicken recipes either.
Well, I think the funny thing is, if I had seen
Very
that,
ad centric, by the way. Like,
yeah,
they
they're making
sell a lot
a
of
ton.
stuff.
They're making a ton of money from ads. I can tell.
But believe it or not, I do believe the recipe side of things is super important, because one of the challenges that kids have is, um, you know, how do I want to couch this? Um, One of the things schools go after kids for is ADD, ADHD,
Right.
and a lot of that is food related.
Well, I
And
think I agree with you. The challenge that I
Yeah.
have there is when that site first popped up there, I thought I was in the wrong place when I saw those chicken recipes.
Yeah.
right,
So
I will
that's
say though, this site is not an equivalent to Elizabeth's. Like, this is a business, and only a
Mhm.
business. There's
right,
no mom or personality behind this site.
Mhm.
They're
none
here to sell
whatsoever.
stuff.
Yep.
And they're
But
making tons of money from
this
ad revenue.
is still a pretty good concept.
Hmm.
It
Not
is a pretty good
necessarily a guide for parents, but an understanding right up front
Yep.
of, here's what we talk about,
Yeah.
and here's who our people are.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything like that here, and I'm not able to put anything.
No, the one thing you really want to have, on your first page, obviously in the upper third, is what's the call to action that you want them to take.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I don't see any call to action. I just see I can choose things, but I don't even know what to choose.
I'm just not wild about this template. I think this is part of the problem because as
Yeah.
it's coming up from below, it also will cover her up, and I don't know that that's what she really wants necessarily.
No. No, and
Now,
of course,
see, you get rid of the chicken thing as the
Yeah.
very first one, and if she wants to keep the blog format, I mean, it's probably running on WordPress. If she wants to, you can set in WordPress the blog post that's sticky and stays on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Now, something like this one. This is closer. This is not what she should have. This is closer, right?
Mhm.
Again, this website is about X for people who are in this
And why?
group.
So they can
Right.
get Z.
How you do it. So, like, what are her other blog posts? There's probably one here that's
More of a homepage than
yeah. Or if we look at the about,
I do like the pictures of the kids.
okay, it's not my idea. It's my mom's. It's not my idea. It's my mom's. Just her talking about someone else.
Yeah.
Blogging. Yeah. So there's not much here that you could use actually It's not like there's anything there you could copy paste to put in the top of this one.
Yeah.
But again, it's like she's expert support for homeschooling success, and then which is okay. It would actually stand out more if it wasn't blurry.
Yeah.
And
Because
gray on blue.
yeah,
And
But
she
then
needs,
there has
she
to be
needs
something
distinct
here. There's
pages and
nothing
posts.
here.
yeah,
She needs very distinct pages and posts,
yeah, I would agree with that.
which she doesn't really have right now.
Yeah, in YouTube, gee whiz, in WordPress, there's an option where the very first thing on your page after this section, which is called the hero section,
Yeah.
can either be a page in WordPress or the latest blog post or a
Yep.
status post.
Mhm.
And she needs to switch it to page, and then the blog should be behind that. Like it should be the next thing you get to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd actually set it up so that you have
And all this stuff, by the way, would stay in place, right? The
Yeah.
categories, the
Yeah.
recent posts, that would all stay there. It's not going to move. But this thing here needs to be a page, not a blog post or a sticky blog post, one or the other.
Right. And it would be easy enough to, at the end of the page, put some recipes or some of the posts that make a lot of sense towards the bottom of that page. And on that top part, you got to have some kind of clear call to action, whether it's have a discovery call with me, buy my
join my group. She does do that on her posts. Her social posts
Yes.
are different, are more engaging than the website is, because she's smart, she's funny, she's just delightful. And I think for me, I'd like to see more of that here.
Just watch, right?
Okay.
We find out that like Elizabeth gets like 1 million unique views a month or something. In which case, do not change a thing on the website.
Yeah. Don't pay any attention. Your mileage may vary. We need a giant disclaimer.
And people are identifying even though you're not letting them identify. That works great. Then you keep you do
you. But at the way it appears, I doubt that that's the case. And
no more chicken right now.
There's got to be some kind of clear call to action that your average person would take.
And she does do that in social media.
Yeah.
So I think I want to make the website a little more like her social media profiles, which are great.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. And that might be all that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. Just create that continuity between all of these profiles. So that the personal brand isn't fuzzy.
Do we have one of her social media profiles like Facebook?
Yeah, up there. Now the YouTube, that one's a little fuzzy too, but like her Instagram is different.
Yeah.
Her Instagram is, if you click that one. What? Not available. Oh, bad link. Bad link.
Yeah. So that's not going to work. Twitter.
No, Twitter is probably similar.
There we go.
I actually like this better.
Much better photographs than on the web.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. So this is fine.
A good bio too.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the Facebook group? Same
thing.
I do not want notifications from
You don't want a notification? Why not?
Heck no. In fact, ironically, the image is still blurry, but it's a little less blurry here because it's not as big.
It's more condensed. Yeah. I think the image needs to be resized and
see. Look at this.
And see that higher res to start with.
This literally, she could have, at a minimum, copy pasted this
into the website.
Yeah.
And put it at the top of the website, right underneath the banner.
I agree, 100%.
That alone would have done so much better.
Yeah. This is great. I mean, the funny thing is, Elizabeth, you've got all the stuff that you need. It just needs to be put in the right place.
Yep. Reorganized.
Yeah. Just reorganize it. And it's not rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. This is just moving your content around a little bit.
Right. Correct.
For greater success and reach.
You can do it.
See, we believe in you.
Actually, I would change some of the language here. We've got
but still.
Yeah.
Were those the 4 strong-willed children in the photo? That was pretty interesting. If that
second paragraph should be the first paragraph.
I got a strong-willed child I could send over
to Elizabeth. She can homeschool him.
School my child, Elizabeth.
School my child. There's a hashtag.
I wonder if Elizabeth has ever thought about actually teaching some classes, like as a.
This one lets me move around.
To help parents out.
The template that Audrey was using.
What was that, John? To help?
Yeah, I wonder if she's ever thought about actually teaching some filming classes to help parents that are homeschooling.
Also,
Filming classes about it.
if Elizabeth is still watching, I'm taking out raised and homeschooled. It's sort of implied that you raised your own children.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, if you homeschooled them, it's not like you sent them somewhere else, but they came to your house to be schooled.
Someone else's home.
So it's internal repetition. You do not bore the
Yeah.
reader with it. My husband and I
Yeah.
homeschooled 4 strong-willed children.
Children.
You don't have to say all through.
No,
Through
just
is work.
through elementary and high school.
Elementary and high school. Now I want to encourage you.
I think I want to help you to do
Yeah.
the same. Help you
That's
to do
even
the
better.
same, even if you don't have 4 strong-willed children. Because you already have homeschooled.
But I bet they do.
Some of them do, yeah. Some of them may have 10
And that needs a soft break so
strong-willed
that
children.
it gets its own. Like, that's
Yeah,
an
I like that
assertion
a lot.
statement. It needs to be there.
Yep, I like that a lot.
I bet the vast majority of our children are strong-willed.
So there you go.
Supposed to
That's what I would
mention.
put.
Yeah, that's a great one for the homepage.
Mhm.
I like it.
All right, those are 2 websites, and
Beautiful.
That's our website Wednesday done again. Should I do
Yay.
this, Elizabeth? Do you need to make a screenshot or?
I'll make a screenshot for
Make a
her
screenshot, send it to
in
Elizabeth,
case she's
please.
not here. Yeah, I'll send it to her. There it is. I got it.
Well,
Okay.
she'll certainly be able to watch it because it's in our.
Oh yeah,
group.
she will watch it because it's on my profile as well
Yeah.
as my other
Yeah.
stuff. I've got it in 5 different places. So
She did at one point say do it later, but I'm like, you're going to be able to watch it, so that
I think she didn't want us to rush through it, but I think it got some really good things in there, particularly
Okay, so working
the
backwards, Elizabeth and then Audrey. Elizabeth didn't have anything that helped people identify that they were in the right place if they didn't already know her,
Yeah.
and clearly had a much more thought through presence on social media for the links that worked.
Much
I want to
better.
fix the one that didn't work, as opposed to her website.
Also, no clear call to action. Like,
Right. There's
what do I
no
do?
just like,
Give it-
let's do
yeah.
something. You're in the
or
right place.
subscribe to my newsletter or something.
Yeah.
Anything.
What do you
So
want? me
that'd
to
be
do?
fine. And
Yeah.
if she doesn't want to be that assertive and right up front, try to get a newsletter subscriber or something, it's fine. But she at least needs to let everyone know instantly sort of what that site is for and whether they're part of that group or not.
Just self-identify. Yeah.
And then
was
for
just-
Audrey, a lot fewer capital letters.
Yeah.
Headlines should be bolded unless you have a really strong reason
And
not
reduce
to.
the size of the whole Michigan West Coast Chamber.
Yep,
'cause
that's way too big. If
they look
anybody's
like there
at
looks
all,
like you're promoting them.
rewrite the section that's written in the third person about
Right.
why health coaching is important. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter if someone else says it's important. It matters to
Mhm.
me as the reader why it's important to me. And if I'm not completely sold on it yet, someone just said, why don't you go look at some health coaches and online and then sort of see, then, that language is not going to do it for them.
I was going
And
to
then
say,
of course the beginning with which is right after the headline is clean up. I guess it's in the recording. It's cleaned up. It needs to be more assertive. You're always on a scale. The middle of that is sort of take it or leave it. And on the one end of the scale is like you're sort of selling from your heels. You're saying things. The words sound like you're trying to convince someone of something, but you're clearly leaning back away from them from fear of rejection or whatever.
Right.
Nobody buys from people who are leaning away from them.
right.
And then on the other end, the far end is aggressive. And you almost never want to be aggressive. But one sort of quarter back from that is assertive. And assertive is where you want to live. Because assertive basically says, this is what I know and believe. This is true. And because it's true, I'm willing to stand on it and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's where you want to live.
I was going to say one last thing. I think, I'm not sure if it was just me, but the smaller text seemed to be a little small.
Yeah.
Like at least for my elderly, tired eyes.
Yeah.
So-
And since half the people who look at this website
Elderly?
are going to be looking at it on a phone
Yeah,
screen, it's even smaller.
I'm not as old as you, but you know what I'm saying.
But I may
All
be
right.
more youthful.
And with that,
You may be
Website
blended, too.
Wednesday is done for another week.
Yes, it's
There
a
we go.
wrap.
Oh, and by the way, my wife, I guess, got it in a feed or something, happened to notice that challenge was misspelled. Somehow the H got deleted during the tweaking of and I couldn't change it because it turns out once you send this out to
Uh-huh.
the world and the events get created on the different platforms. You cannot change the graphic. So from this
No.
week, next week forward, challenge will be spelled properly, but this week was
Awesome.
not, and hopefully
It's
not.
all good.
It's all fine. No one's going to care. All right. Thanks,
No.
everyone. Have a good day. Tomorrow
Bye,
is
everybody.
Tools Thursday, possibly the